They recommended this little lagoon to me for the Mojarra, so well, let's start by looking for live bait. Now I'll quickly prepare the Mojarra rod and let's see if we can catch any. This backpack must be really heavy. Now I don't know, but... Well, we're going to use a thin nylon line, worms, a small float, and a long shank hook for Mojar. Well, for now there are no bites. I'm changing the spots. I'm casting below and next to the water hyacinths, but for now. I haven't had a single bite. There it is. Yeah, Dad. All right, little one. No, this water looks like it's stagnant because you can see clearly to the bottom. So I don't think there's anything here. I just cast a line to the bottom for the scavengers. Let's see if we can catch some little catfish, because I only got one bite from a Mojarra at the lagoon. I was there for almost an hour, so I came down here under the bridge to see if we can catch some little catfish. At least from the bottom, with worm. Alright, the first one showed up. I'm trying with a boga hook. To get some of these, we'll catch a couple more, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll head to the lagoon. In this case, it's a little big fish. Look at that, perfect for taru. Thank you. We're gonna change the hooks on the bottom rig we have with leader, because this is the one I was using in the river to catch small catfish. Look, it had a short shank hook, so we're going to put on the big hooks. For taru, we're mainly going to be looking for tarucha and, well, some lagoon fish. If we get the chance, we're going to give it a try. With fresh liver that I brought, and also with a few worms, the ones from the ground, those that are pretty nice in size. Let's see if we can also catch a lagoon fish. This is liver. It's really fresh. To try it for... To the lagunero, thank you. Let's take advantage that he is. The lagoon is calm. Now, while the water heats up, let's prepare a little meal. In the meantime, we'll wait for a bite. Let's add a little seasoning, a bit of salt, oregano, just a little. I've got everything a bit mixed up here. Let's throw a little on top. Now let's add a bit of paprika and then the salt. We've already mixed it up and we'll let it cook slowly. This is in the end, so it always seems like it's a lot, but you end up with very little. Thank you. There we have the buoy from the last fishing trip. It's got pieces of agri. We have the rod with double steel leader, both with pieces of agri. I have a buoy for that side as well. We'll wait for the water to warm up, as there's little movement in it for now. That's why I told you we're going to make the most of the time to prepare something to eat, and well, then we'll see about heading over that way. Can we change the fishing spot? Can someone explain to me scientifically, why is it amazing that the smoke, you sit here and it comes this way, you go over there and it goes that way? It's something that I don't know if it only happens to me all the time, but it's amazing. It seems like it follows you. Alright, now we're good. I hope the fish don't start biting while I'm eating, as that always happens to me. Look, see how costoletta turned out, man. Onion, relax. Look, does the potato fall apart on its own? First cast, guys. Right on the rod I have leader. Let's see what we find. By chance, I grabbed the rod because... Alright, easy. Let's put down the rod and lift it over here. There it is. The first one. This one is dedicated to my friend Jose Romero. Look, with the piece of bagger I was catching earlier. Now I'm gonna get the live well and we're gonna put it in there and see if we can catch a bigger one. There. There it is. We're going to keep it here. Make sure it's okay, alive in the water. And if we catch a bigger one, we can release it without any problem. There it stays inside. Thank you. Well, the voice, Well, second snapshot, look, I told you I was heating the water. I'm really thirsty. I'll say I have mate because my backpack was full, so I couldn't bring water. So, well, let's see if the mate helps with my thirst, because otherwise I'm in trouble, right? The fish just started biting. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. And like I said, there was no activity, and when I saw the sun start to shine, that's when things finally started happening. So well, let's try out the lataru. Let's see which is the biggest one we can catch. Both of them are in the live well. Eventually, I'll likely release them and keep the largest one. To prepare a meal here on the shore, you have the comments there to recommend something I can make here. I'll probably come with Guido, so that's good. And what about the lure enthusiasts? I haven't tried it because the times I've cast, they don't go for it, and well, even less now. We'll wait until later. Maybe when the water warms up, we'll head to the other side. With the bait rod, which I have back there unused, we'll go and try with the lure to see if we can catch one with an artificial. Friends, I'm going to get ready. A little rig to change things up for some small catfish, some little fish, whatever's around, because I'm running out. I'm running out of fresh bait, which are the little catfish I brought from the river, and since, as you've seen, they're pretty tricky here. The taruchas won't bite if they don't have something fresh. Wherever you try to fish with liver, turtles will start to show up, and you already know that in the last few fishing trips, they basically annoyed me the whole time. So, well, little hook, short leg, sinker, sliding rig. And we're going to use a nylon line of about 1 meter, or just a bit shorter, like 50 centimeters. There. It's done, look. I threw all the dirt on myself. Well, this one has to fall into the mouth of some catfish. Or some boga. I don't know, something that... This was the rod that wasn't being used. So let's leave it there, relax, and wait. Something is slowly pushing my float down there, so let's keep more... And bring it over here. I'd rather lose the... PK than get everything tangled up. By the way, look at this nylon. I think it's 0.80. Let's leave it here. There. Wow, we're starting with Yakido's Donatello. No wonder, he was walking slowly with a half leash. Will he like the bagre? Let's release her quickly. Alright, let her go. Far away. Bye. Sitting in the shade, the little bell rang. Thanks for watching. without smoking, the sound of the bell. Sorry, but I couldn't manage to take it off. Hopefully it's a little catfish for bait. And definitely look at what it is. But it's a beautiful yellow catfish. I told you, for the catfish, this catfish is spectacular. With the worm and with the line, Carmen. A while ago, look.
The sliding sinker.
It's not that big, but I want to show you its color. Regrettably, it swallowed the hook. Now I will demonstrate. How it swallowed the hook. You can't even see the barb. But very nice. Bagrache, honestly, I didn't know that little catfish would bite too because it's so amazing. Let's see if we can take the hook out and release it, and if not, well, we'll just use it for bait because we just ran out of bait, so well. I'm telling you, I came over to the other side because the sun is already hitting the turn. It's going to be 5 in the afternoon and it's blinding me a lot. Also, to show you all, you can't see well. So let's take some shots from this side that we've never tried before. Let's see what happens on this side. I just threw the buoy. Now I throw this one, and now we're going to throw the other buoy with a double leader so we can go see what's over there. Look at what a nice spot this is to throw something and leave it still. I'm really thirsty here. I tried to pretend I forget about it, but it's impossible, and I already finished all the meat on top of that. Well, the buoy that's in the middle of the lagoon is getting some bites, so I'm going to see if I can hook whatever it is. No. I saw it clearly, it was a boga. Look at the catfish bait I'm using. But it was a boga. I saw it clearly right next to me. Let's cast again and well, let's wait. That was unexpected. So I was approaching the buoy to change the hooks and cast for the boga. Because, no, it was amazing how the boga bit. You know, the boga has a really small, really subtle mouth. And well, I saw it clearly. In fact, if you look closely, you'll see the splash it makes with its tail. So let's put a short leg on this buoy. And let's go look for the boga with a little piece of catfish. There it is. Let's see if... Well, he made it. Well, just so you get an idea of how big that boga was, look. This catfish post is half the size of what that boga attacked. And I just lost it in the bite. I just missed, and I realized it was another boga because it got away on the way in. It didn't get hooked properly, so I cut the bait in half and left the hook more visible so it could get hooked. It seems like it's feeding on the surface because it never bit at the bottom, even though I've tried with liver, with heart, and that's really strange. So yeah, it's on the surface. I have the other float over there and the bottom rod, and if nothing happens, I'll add a float to it, because it would be ideal to catch a little needlefish. Alright. Look at how this rod is. I just looked at it and was about to cast. Let's see if we have something. Exactly, I was about to. Something well done. What a strange tug. I think it's a Tarucha, unless it jumps. There. If it jumps, it must have been hooked. More or less. I was just about to tell you that the lagoon went completely calm. Well, in lagoons, when there's no movement, it means the fish won't bite. There are places where, mostly, if there's no movement on the surface, it's rare for the fish to bite, or for anything to happen. For those who are interested in winning one of these organizer boxes with lures, I'm going to leave the link to our giveaway group on WhatsApp down in the comments. Just by clicking the link, you'll join automatically. Well, we offer free shipping nationwide, so if you're interested, like I said, there will be a link in the comments where you can join. Who knows who brought all this stuff here? There are many shells here, some huge, collected by an unknown creature, possibly a caracara. It's unclear how long they've been here. They've made a small fire here. I was thinking about making some fishing floats, which are, as you probably know, rigs with a medium-sized float, which are for fishing surface-dwelling bogas. So I think next time I'll have to bring floats and set them up here. That way, I'll share with you how I'm going to try to fish for them. And I don't know, you tell me if you like to fish, the ones at the bottom or on the surface. I mostly fish for them at the bottom, with a leader and a sliding rig of about 1 meter or so. Just like the one I prepared for the catfish today, a little bit longer and with a much bigger hook. Shorter too, but I think that the only way to get them out here is going to be to the surface. I realized that when you wash the layer. Notice that when I just took out the catfish, the ones I brought from the river, it bit right away. And when I took out the other yellow one, I did it. I said I left it for bait because I didn't catch anything else, and that's what I got, the other bites. It bit pretty quickly, but after the bait got washed out, so to speak, when it wasn't fresh, it was much harder to get a bite. This area seems drier based on the small plants. You can see it in the middle of the lagoon. That's why I haven't shown you much here. I haven't fished, but the best part, let's say, is on the left, where I was just fishing while walking in. But you have to go and stay there, because you have to walk so much that you can't keep moving from one place to another. I forgot to ask the rancher earlier if he would let me fish and camp, because it's nice to spend the night here and fish. There's night fishing. Who knows what could happen at night? Besides, at night, the little frogs must be everywhere here, because during the day, there's no chance of finding a frog. Well, friends, I'll see you at the next fishing trip, which will be sharing a meal here on the shore with Guido. As always, thank you for joining me on this adventure and for being a part of it. See you next time.